moving on from
Never
all of
came
this,
back
my
up.
plan is to continue moving forward making content. I would also be formally appealing my ban to Twitch. They actually indefinitely banned me from the events of 2020. They never really gave me a chance to defend myself, and I feel like I should not be banned anymore.
Bro, you 100% deserve to be banned. What are you talking about? That's like the real spirit of competition. I love that. So, Smash is kind of doing their thing, right? And then here we go, chat. Former Smash Pro, Team Zero, is actually now back, chat. Now, why is it a big deal that Zero is back? Well, Zero used to be canceled back in July of 2020. However, he was literally one of the craziest Smash Bros. Players, one of the best. Actually, for a long time, uncontended was the best. He had like 52 tournament wins in a row. Nobody was beating this guy, but he also created a lot of content. Definitely was, again, uncontested, the very best Smash Bros. Player, one of the best of all time, actually featured in the Guinness World Book of Records. But he has now actually been unbanned after 5 years. And through his transformation, he actually became a bodybuilder since all of this time has happened, chat. So why is this really, really important, chat? Well, first, let me show you Zero's channel is indeed back. Here's Zero's channel. 500,000 followers on Twitch. Very, very big deal. Well, I do want to go take a look at what exactly Zero did. So let's go take a look
To this day,
at
he's
all
done
of the
is ignore
evidence with Zero in this story.
Very clear to everybody watching this video, I have never received explicit images from any underage individual. I have never sent explicit images to any underage individual. I have never made travel arrangements with ulterior motive underage individual. I have never been touched in any shape or form any underage individual. And I have never had conversations with only the intention to groom an underage individual or take advantage of them. Anything you may have heard,
Yeah, he was also accused of
or
grooming as
seen
well.
that suggests otherwise is a lie. In terms of the future of this channel, I will be returning to make content.
And just a reminder, Chad, just a reminder, this person has been unbanned on Twitch. Is back on Twitch right now.
I guess you are
by the
banned,
way.
Right? Yeah, I guess you are.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just,
By the way,
you're
chat.
Definitely banned.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
definitely banned.
I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of hard to not get banned from Smash at this point.
Yeah.
You know? It sounds kind of bad to say it that way, but it's kind of just true. I just feel like whenever I come back to making videos, there's always some form of drama or some form of very negative feedback that comes along.
In recent years, one of the biggest communities in
Yeah,
gaming,
absolutely,
the Super Smash
Omega.
Bros. Community, found itself
Absolutely.
spiraling down a dark path of controversy and terrible allegations. Pretty much
Which is
exploded
crazy.
once everything was brought to light and exposed around July 2020. Today, the
July
competitive Smash
2020
community
was
is
crazy.
a shell of its former self after many
Yep.
of its main competitors were outed for some pretty horrible things.
I mean, there was controversy with Naira, Cinepie, Zero. Those were big ones.
In July 2020, numerous allegations of misconduct arose, accusing over 125 members of the Smash community, including some of the game's most well-known professional players, commenters, tournament organizers, and content creators. Many of the accused were indefinitely banned
happened
from
with
entering
Allied,
tournaments,
too.
isolated, and removed from the community altogether. Today, we will take a deep dive into the story of one of these banned
wasn't
content
it some with
creators in
Ally
particular.
as well?
Without further ado, let's get into the curious case of Zero, one of the most controversial figures in the Super Smash Bros. Community. Zero is a
No, I think when you reach a level like this where you're, there's alleged grooming and all kinds of stuff, nah, bro. Nah, bro. I don't think you can come back from that. That's just, for me, that is so beyond f***ed up. Nah, you don't deserve to be a content creator anymore, in my opinion.
a 29-year-old former professional Smash player and streamer from Chile. During his prime, he was considered to be the best Super Smash Bros. For Wii U player in the entire world. Before the release of Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, aka Smash 4,
he legitimately was the best.
Zero was a top-ranked Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Project M player. From November 2014 to October 2015, Zero achieved a record-breaking 56 consecutive tournament wins, including EVO 2015 and the
56 tournament wins in a row, chat. That's
Big
nuts.
House 5. Zero's
I mean,
best-known characters are
that's
Diddy
wild.
Kong in Smash 4, Meta Knight in Brawl,
Diddy
Hit in
and
Project
Sheik, I
M,
think.
and Fox in Melee. Zero is the only player to have ever earned more than $100,000 playing Smash 4 competitively. Now, as a kid, Zero was bullied badly. Due to his
And it
family's
sucks because he was such a talented like player, right? But he threw it all away doing these horrible
financial
things.
hardship and personal anxiety, Zero dropped out of school for 3 years. After receiving a GameCube, he took this time to play speedruns on Super Mario Sunshine and Super Smash Bros. Melee with his older sister. In 2006, Zero entered a Melee tournament in his Chilean hometown at a local game store. He competed in these tournaments regularly, and in the following years, Zero traveled around the world
Oh my
between
God,
Chile,
Jesse, that's
Argentina, and the
horrible.
US to complete in Smash tournaments. In 2012, Zero began competing in professional esports events, including Apex.
Hey everybody, just a quick reminder, if you've been enjoying this video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me a ton. Okay, back to the video. That's me as a VTuber. If I was gonna play at a tournament, I would dress up as Darth
Just
Vader.
2 years later, in early 2014,
Yeah, no, it makes
he
me
was
upset
earning
too,
about
Meister.
$40,000 a year from prize money, sponsorships, and Twitch streams. By 2016, Zero was a household name, beloved by the entire Smash community, and considered to be the best Smash 4 player in the entire world. In January 2018, hours after Zero was ranked #1 in the world once again by Panda Global, in a 3-page statement, he announced his hiatus from competitive Smash. In his statement, he expressed his need to escape his toxic relationship with Smash.
If I remember correctly, Big Lord probably remembers, but I think a big thing for him was he wanted to go out on top. So he was like, yeah, I got rated #1. I'm
that
done.
had been dominating his life for the past 3.5 years. Part of his
Yeah, they
statement
do
said,
that. Again, like, just because you're good at a video game, that is not an excuse for you to do these horrible, horrible things, right? Like, if anything, because you're really good at a game, you should have more scrutiny about your conduct in general.
always been very competitive and goal-oriented individual. I came from an environment in which I had pretty much nothing. To live the American dream. I always wanted to be the best player in the world in Smash. It was what I wanted the most in life. I sacrificed pretty much
Didn't
every
have the
single
Street
aspect.
Fighter money for that kind of money. I think for high money, it's more like League of Legends or like StarCraft or like other like bigger like games. But when it comes to fighting games, Tekken and Street Fighter have much higher prize pots. Actually, Super Smash Bros. Is always the lowest
Spent all
generally.
my life to achieve such a thing. I cut time, friends,
Yeah,
hobbies,
Tekken
and
and,
even my
Street
emotions
Fighter
at
are the
some point
highest.
to accomplish this. It is the thing I've worked the hardest on and my most proudest achievement in life.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
their
the
companies
level of
actually back
commitment
them.
that it took to accomplish my dream.
What's up, by the
Zero
way,
continued
Cozy?
streaming on Twitch, temporarily returned to Smash Ultimate, and signed an exclusive streaming rights deal with Facebook. In July 2020, serious accusations against Zero began flooding into the Smash community and spread like wildfire. These allegations included sexting minors when he was 19. In 2014, Zero allegedly asked Katie, a 14-year-old girl, to do something inappropriate that I can't say on YouTube or this video would be smited, and told her to take pictures
Basically, from what I remember correctly, it was picture-based.
while doing it. On July 3rd, 2020, Katie posted a series of allegations against Zero in a TwitLonger post titled, "Dear Zero Wandering. All I wanted was an apology." The post detailed several alleged instances.
God, looking at that post gives me PTSD. Like, I remember seeing that post and my heart dropped, and I read everything, and I was just like, oh my
of
God.
Zero sending manipulative and suggestive messages to Katie when she was 14 years old. The same day, Zero announced that he would be officially retiring from professional competition and ending all of his sponsorships. He confessed to all of the allegations and said he is banning himself from all future Smash events. In a now deleted TwitLonger, Zero admitted to sending horrendous messages to girls as young as 14 when he was 19, and said that this was due to his social awkwardness and lack of judgment at the time. He wrote,
He was only 14 and he was 19. He was an adult. He knew better. It's
I want to
disgusting.
start by taking ownership and apologize to
disgusting.
Jisoo, Katie, and Leffen for my actions. While the intent was not malicious on my end, I understand that the impact my actions had on others caused pain that I did not intend. He also wrote, Katie, the screenshots you guys were wondering about, the ice thing, it's true. The claims that Katie makes are true in general. There are no graphic pictures of anything of the sort, but it's unforgivable regardless. I want to be clear about it here.
Again,
Zero
technically he would have had pictures of a minor, right? Which is already, isn't that like a crime? I'm pretty sure.
confessed to another encounter with a minor named Laura. Zero claimed he didn't know Laura was underage at the time because she lied about her age, but she contacted him years later to tell him the truth. Zero wrote, years later she contacted me and said she was actually underage. I apologized to her privately recently
that's
and
what I
told her I
thought.
feel absolutely terrible about it. There's no graphic pictures or anything either that were exchanged.
At this part, I don't believe him. I'm going to be real because he already lied about some other stuff. So, like, I don't believe him on that.
And she's
personally.
from another country. I really want to atone, and I just want this discussion to stop. I'm not a good person, and it doesn't matter how
I
terrible
told
my
you.
life was.
Again, chat, remember, you're getting the news on this guy, right? They allowed an unban on Twitch. This guy is back on Twitch.
I did terrible things, and that's the end of it. I don't deserve for people to defend me. Zero also said he would
Like,
no
what
longer
are
be
they
uploading to his
thinking,
YouTube
dude?
channel, which had over 1 million subscribers at the time. He told his fans not to forgive him and said he wasn't going to forgive himself either. The same day, Temple Storm, a big esports sponsor, announced that they would be severing ties with Zero. Sponsors like these would pay for Zero's flights, tournaments, hotel rooms, and gave him a huge salary. But all of these benefits were wiped away in seconds when they severed ties with him due to the allegations. Temple Storm released an official statement addressing
remember
the
all
Zero
that.
situation on their Twitter account. They wrote, "We have been closely monitoring the
This person right here, his name is Zero.
developments of the various accusations of misconduct directed at our player Gonzalo Barrios, better known as Zero. After initially reviewing the statements of the brave victims who stepped forward to bring this to our attention, we immediately initiated a comprehensive internal
Confess to the
investigation
allegations,
during which
chat.
Zero
It's a done deal,
confessed to
you know
these
what I mean?
allegations. While we appreciate Zero's transparency, we will be severing ties with him going forward. In an
Look, I'm be real. When you do shit like this, I don't give a fuck if you're transparent or not. You've done something unforgivable in my
effort
eyes.
to help our fellow community members recover from their pain, we'll be extending an offer to provide professional support for each of the victims involved who have shared their stories. We'll also be connecting
happened
Zero
so
with
many
professional
years later,
counsel
Daniel.
and other
Happened so many years later, you know, so
rehabilitation
there
resources
wasn't
to
anything can be
ensure
done.
this behavior does not happen again in the future. Jisoo was another one of Zero's alleged victims who came forward. Zero and Jisoo were both former residents of the
Yeah,
Sky
it's so simple. If you're an adult, don't interact with minors. It's so fucking simple.
House, a series of homes rented in Southern California by a popular YouTuber and pro Smash player, Sky Williams.
We're going to be talking about here in just a second. You're going to see there is a house where a bunch of creators got together, kind of did some stuff for content and things like that. But the Sky House situation is insane, chat, and it's going to dive into it.
Jisoo also accused many members of the Smash community who stayed in these homes of misconduct and assault that allegedly took place in the homes. Jisoo responded to Zero's twitlonger with this tweet. After 2 twitlongers, blatant lying, and several attempts of damage control via messaging figureheads and victims only for you to realize you're finally screwed, you finally fess up. Except this isn't all of it. I'll be releasing my statement and everyone's accounts soon.
Yeah,
Jisoo
content
then
house is
released
never
a
in one.
64-page document outlining numerous allegations in the Smash community, and a number of screenshots that allegedly depicted conversations between Zero and Katie. In her document, Jisoo also made her own allegations against Zero. She said that in Sky Williams' house, Zero allegedly showed her corn, hentai, and Craigslist ads for S-workers when she was only 15 years old.
That was another big one, is exposing this minor to adult content. Literally just like, hey, look at this adult content. You know what I mean? There's no forgiveness. You know what I mean? And get this guy his back on Twitch. It's insane. How could Twitch allow this person to be reinstated on their website? That's my question.
Jisoo said she received death threats after making these claims. Facebook followed suit with Temple Storm by severing ties with Zero on July 5th, and Twitch did as well on July 22nd and permanently
Finally.
banned him. Zero had over 500
Here's the thing, chat. Back then, they permanently banned him, right? So how is he unbanned now? What has happened in between then that they decided that he is worthy to be unbanned? It's crazy to me.
1,000 followers on the Twitch platform before his ban. Zero also released this statement on his YouTube channel addressing the allegations. Hey, I'm currently into therapy for a lot of reasons, and I'm seeking help in a lot of ways to improve myself.
I don't
any way
know.
that
It
I
must
can.
be AI.
I've read your comments, and I felt your anger, and you have every right to be. I'm sorry for everything. To the people I hurt, and to you guys for betraying you. I may make a solid update video sometime in the future talking about everything and to show you meaningful progress when I feel I'm mentally ready.
Which you can see like by his change, chat. He's had quite a transformation, right? But I'm not saying that any of the years that have passed have excused his behavior from before. He's clearly, I guess, like found a direction for himself. Just because you acknowledge that it's wrong doesn't make it right ever. You know what I mean? Like in my eyes, this is just one of those things it's unforgivable forever. That's it. You know, like there's just some things, and that is one of them.
I don't know how to end this message, but I'll leave it at that. Take care. After months of silence, on March 25th, 2021, Zero's ex-girlfriend at the time, Vanessa, announced on Twitter that he had attempted to unalive himself earlier, and he was currently being treated and
that was
cared
really
for
sad.
at a hospital.
I mean, again, like if he's trying to do better, that's awesome. But like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna forget about what you did. You know.
In a now deleted tweet, Vanessa wrote, "Humans are more than their mistakes, especially when they've put out more good in this world. I'll always love you even if we're not together, and I pray that you see the light." She attached the photo from an outdoor security camera of paramedics and an individual on a stretcher, allegedly Zero. Leffen, another big name in the Smash community, replied to Vanessa and wrote, "Really sad to hear that. Hope he gets the help he needs.
Flashback. 12 o'clock
Yeah, watch
midnight.
this.
The real hero here isn't me, and honestly I've been struggling with feelings of guilt because I've gained a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers, and attention because of these awful things happening. I never could have imagined that they would do such disgusting things, and then instead of apologizing or owning up to what they did, they try to lie and manipulate people instead.
Meanwhile, at the Krusty Krab.
A day after Jisoo posted her allegation, Leffen, purely out of the goodness of his own heart, posted an entirely fabricated story to make Jisoo's look more credible. But it's okay because he did it as his friend.
Leffen is like a whole nother video, chat. If you want me to cover Leffen, you know, let me know in the comments. But that is a whole nother story diving into Leffen.
In this story, he accuses Zero of looking at hentai with Japanese players he had just met at Apex when he was a minor, when in actuality, they were looking at fully clothed waifus. I'm
Yeah,
not going to
Leffen is a
reveal the
whole
identity
nother
of the
piece.
Japanese player who corroborated Zero's story simply because he wishes to remain anonymous. But if Leffen would like to have even one person involved back him up, he's more than welcome to do so.
And it really sucks because I would rather focus on the atrocities that Zero did, but then Leffen got involved. All these other people started, you know, doing all this. I kind of moving the narrative away, and that sucked. That sucked.
But he's not
It's
going
very
to
confusing.
because no one agrees with him. Well, maybe except for Lima, who wasn't even there.
The fact that we are getting them out of the community is the best possible thing that could happen, and I truly believe that.
End of flashback.
Vicky Kitty, a big gaming commentator, also replied, "I'm so sorry. I hope things get better with the help he gets. No one deserves to go through this." On April 26th,
Oh my god. Is Vicky Kitty still commentating? I remember working with her. She's so sweet.
2021, Zero updated the Smash community through his Instagram that he was out of the hospital and successfully recovered, and had no intention to attempt. On November 16th, 2021, Zero returned
He's
to YouTube
fantastic.
with a
I love
video
him.
stating that he was returning to creating content and retracting his previous admission. This time,
Yeah, so let me repeat this again, chat. So Zero decided that he was going to come back to content and retracted his original statements where he admitted to. Oh, remember, this guy's back on Twitch.
Zero took a firm stand against many of the allegations he previously admitted to. In Zero's video titled "My Response to Allegations," he said, "I want to make this very clear to everybody watching. I never received explicit images from an underage individual. I never sent explicit
he literally
images to
just
an
didn't change
underage
it all.
individual. I never made travel arrangements with ulterior motives with an underage individual.
But that Mewtwo
I never
King
was
picture is
touched
so
or touched
cringe.
any underage individual. I never had a conversation with the intention to groom an underage individual or to take advantage of them." He said it seemed easier
Dude, you
to
literally showed them, like, Prawn, retract my previous admission. Bro, it's an admission. You can't do that.
apologize rather than fight it any longer after seeing how vicious people were being towards him, and he called staying silent a tremendous mistake. According to Zero, he only made the confession he made and accepted accusations as facts because his Twitlongers were allegedly letters written during a tremendous mental breakdown.
I understand it's a really stressful time, but so why would you admit to something that you never did? Especially something so heinous as the things you've been accused of. No, I don't believe you, bro. I'm sorry, I don't believe that.
He said he would no longer
Not for a
address the
second.
situation publicly, would be focusing on creating new content. He also received legal counsel and was in the middle of multiple lawsuits.
Hey everyone, it's been a long time since I've talked to you guys on this channel. As you may have heard, I was involved in some big allegations as of last year, and since then I have not uploaded
Yeah,
to this
Dr.
channel.
Disrespect
I've
be
taken a
like,
break from social media, and I pretty much just up and disappear. In this video, I want to clear the air about that and what the next steps are for this channel and me in general. To start off, you probably heard of all of this from a document made by Jisoo, which was then later spread by multiple media outlets. This document contains a very large amount of lies, falsehoods, big exaggerations, and honestly, it is nothing more than a piece to assassinate my character and ruin my image to the general public.
wow, it's almost like getting your character assassinated and ruined by the public can be done when you do absolutely horrible things.
Common misconception is that I have been framed
What
as a
the
liar, but I lied in all of my Twitter statements. This is not true. The reason I seem to switch stances is simply because at the time, I did not have proper evidence, witnesses that came forward later, and I just did not have the full picture in front of me. I also lost a lot of faith in if the public will actually believe my side of the story, seeing how vicious people were during that period of time. Since at the time, I pretty much only had my word and memory to defend myself, I figure it will be a lot easier to just apologize than to fight it. Obviously, now that I put it that way, I made a tremendous...
Why would you do that in a million years? Didn't Zero file a lawsuit against Houston one to basically prove innocent? I think with the lawsuit, if I remember correctly, was between both of their parties, right? But none of the details of that court case were given to us, right? So it might have been maybe for like slander or something like that. Again, I thought it was settled like out of court, or maybe I'm confusing that with Nairo. I think it's addressed in here though. Let's keep watching.
Mistake. You have also probably heard of a so-called confession for my part. Simply put, this document is nothing more than a letter that I wrote during a tremendous mental breakdown. I had fully planned to take my life right after posting that document because
Again, I think it's covered in this video and we'll look at it, but nonetheless, why would you admit to something that you didn't do? I mean, I understand that you have a lot of stress, things like that, and obviously there's some mental health issues as well. But bro, no, there's no way. Why would you ever admit to something like that? You know that is gonna destroy your career forever. Why would you admit to something that you didn't do? Fundamentally, that makes no sense,
I pretty much lost all faith in that scenario. Seeing so many of my close friends deciding to take the situation, to throw me under the bus for personal gain, seeing how people were reacting in general, and me just feeling like I could not defend myself properly.
It's almost like people reacted in the way that you should when you do something horrible.
Pretty much took the last bit of hope that I had left, and I decided not just to give up, but to sabotage myself on purpose. If you have been watching my content for years now, it should be no surprise that I have been rather open about my mental struggles and depression in general. This is not my first fight with, and for a long time, I have been really struggling with that line. But after taking time to reflect and think properly and review all of the evidence that came forward
I just want to know why he got him banned.
This was a big plot
Well, like, here's the thing, chat. From what I remember reading, I was going to wrap this up, but I'll say it now. I believe that his intention is not to stream on Twitch. I don't think his intention at all is to return to content creation. But the real question here is, why the did Twitch unban him? What under God's green earth did they decide that that was a good idea?
In my character and just destroy my life. Since then, I have retained legal counsel to take the necessary steps to deal with this scenario, and I'm also in the middle of a lawsuit with some of the involved parties in this case. This case is also more complicated than other cases because there's a lot of people involved. Some of the parties are completely anonymous, and this all makes taking the right steps extremely difficult. I am doing my best, but it is not easy. Now I need to make this.
Again, if the court case was settled out of court, sometimes going through the litigation process is not worth it, right? So I see this from time to time where people are like, oh, like I won my court case, right, chat? Again, I feel like sometimes with litigation, some people don't have the money to do that, or maybe Zero did, but they just took the L. They're like, we know you did it. You already confessed to it. We don't need to fight you in court. But anyway, let's continue.
Clear to everybody watching this video, I have never received explicit images from any underage individual. I have never sent explicit images to any underage individual.
Just the back and forth. It's like, guys, do you believe him? Like, yes or no? Do you believe him? I mean, there's so much back and forth. So you tell me, do you believe him or not?
Travel arrangements with ulterior motives with any underage individual. I have never been touched or touched in any shape or form any underage individual. And I have never had conversations with only the intention to groom an underage individual or take advantage of them.
I didn't want to put this out because he said I didn't do it with intention, but I will say this. Sometimes you can do something without intention, but you can still do it, right? And it's still wrong. It's still a bad thing to do it. Just because you had the intention or not, right? You can still, oh, I didn't have an intention of pulling the trigger, but you can still shoot somebody, Like that can happen. Yeah, it feels weird that he specified that, right? Like the intention, because you can still do a bad thing, intention or not,
Anything you may have heard or seen that suggests otherwise is a lie. In terms of the future of this channel, I will be returning to make content. I do not represent a danger or harm to anybody.
Right,
I do have the right to
exactly.
utilize my platforms and make the content that I want to make. People have the choice, not the obligation, to watch or support my content if they wish to do so. Change and reflection already happened many years ago, and I am a completely different person than when I was 19 years of age. Today, I'm married. I'm about to be 27. I want to start a family. I want to support the people that have been good to me that are.
He says that he's changed, he's moved on and stuff like that. But why do you need to come back to content creation? You know what I mean? Like, you made such a horrible mistake. You need to go live your life away from all of this stuff because you're exposing yourself with these things that you've done, these horrible actions. You're putting yourself back in that same space. That is unsafe for other people, right? Yes, I get the idea of like, it's your choice or not, but you are at the point where you made such a mistake. You just go your own way. Just go to the right and we will go to the left, Get a 9 to 5 and just do your thing.
Are close to me. I want to entertain people. I want to chase my passion of creating content and making people laugh. And I just want to live my life.
A commenter YouTuber named Technicals uploaded a now privated video to his channel in an attempt to prove Zero's innocence. Zero shared this new YouTube video to Twitter and wrote, "I'm not a threat to anybody and can use my platforms.
I want to mention the Technicals video because it's privated, it's gone, it's no longer viewable. But what I will say about the Technicals video where he does this in-depth case and stuff like that, I think I speak for most Smash Bros people, or at least people within the Smash Bros Bros community, I know that's a very strong stance to take, but I feel like I speak for most of us. Technicals is not the most trustworthy person, chat. Yeah, I'll just put that out there for you if you don't know Technicals. He's not really the most trustworthy person. So why is the video privated to begin with, right? So, and I think a lot of Smash Bros people already know this. But again, has Tentacles done some stuff where he's dived into things and proven it? Absolutely. He certainly has. He has done some good work on some stuff, but overall, not the best image. And he's kind of just a jerk to a lot of people. So, and you know, take my word for it, do your own research. That's how I feel about it. But a lot of stuff I've seen with him is just kind of in bad faith. So, but just so you know, like to give you a little backstory on the technical stuff. Now, that video came out 4 years ago. Maybe it feels differently. I don't know. You know, only time will tell.
Do not feel comfortable on Twitter and don't know if I'll continue using this platform. Time will tell. Follow me on Instagram if you like updates. Thank you. Zero also shared Technical's video and tweeted, Technical's video which goes over the case in depth and covers everything. Must be watched in full to understand. On November 30th, 2021,
if I remember correctly, I mean, again, it's been a while. I feel like there was something that maybe Big Lord remembers. I think there was something in that video that was a huge, like red flag that he tried to prove a point, but like it backfired really hard. And I wish I could remember. It's been so long.
Zero sued his former roommate Jisoo for defamation regarding the allegations she made against him in 2020. Jisoo allegedly defamed Zero by claiming that he and Vanessa started dating when he was 20 and she was 15, and that he later allegedly physically abused her. Zero and his attorney said in the lawsuit that Zero and Vanessa are 31 months apart in age.
Yeah, here's the court case.
And that he never physically abused Vanessa. Jisoo also allegedly defamed Zero by claiming that Zero solicited explicit videos from a 14-year-old girl and offered to fly another underage girl to events to perform inappropriate acts. Zero and his attorney also denied he ever showed Jisoo S-work listings on Craigslist or hentai while living together, and claimed that Craigslist banned those advertisements in 2010. In a now deleted tweet, Jisoo responded to the lawsuit. Jisoo asked her followers to donate to a GoFundMe that would be used to cover expenses for the lawsuit she was facing. She wrote, "Last year, I used my platform to expose him. He admitted to it.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Now denies
That's
it
new to
and
me.
claims he lost his career because of me, not because he's a pedo. It is truly depressing that it's come to this. I'm angry, I'm tired, but mostly I am disappointed. Disappointed that those who abuse others cannot accept the consequences of their own actions, and disappointed in those who continue to support them." On September 9th, 2022, Zero announced that a settlement had been reached in the lawsuit. He uploaded a video to his channel called
Okay, so it was a settlement. So they, you know, and to be fair, right, maybe Jisoo over-exaggerated some certain points. They were able to come to an agreement, but that doesn't mean that everything that was exposed before and him admitting it isn't true, right? Like, they're just like, oh, well, you know, there was a settlement, so he's completely innocent. Like, that's not the case, right? He already admitted to it.
The lawsuit was over. In the video, Zero shows a joint statement from himself and Jisoo. He apologized to Jisoo for his role in her feeling harassed and demeaned. Jisoo retracted her previous allegations about the age Zero and Vanessa started dating and her allegations of him abusing her. Also a part of the settlement, Jisoo retracted and deleted all of her previous allegations made against Zero, including her 64-page document.
Actually, it's been such a long time since I've actually stepped.
Yeah, like, you can get better outside of the space, right? Like, and again, I don't know the court specifics of the Jisoo and Zero stuff, but he can become better, right? He can become better, but just not here, right? Like, you can go do your own thing in a different space away from a younger viewer base, absolutely. Because again, this is Smash Bros, right? It's a family-friendly game, right? Like, a lot of people play Smash that are younger. It's a younger, like, viewer base, right? Inherently, right? It's a party game for the family. So I feel like you know that, and you've already had these horrible interactions, and you've already done these horrible things that involve minors. You don't need to be involved anywhere in this space. You need to go the f away, and maybe you can get better. I don't know. That's not for me to say, but don't go near this space. You know, like that should be obvious.
Stepped onto camera and recorded anything. That almost feels a little weird, but nonetheless, hello everyone. It's honestly been a while. I have been putting a lot of work during the time that I have been away from YouTube, and today I'm finally ready to share with you guys some good news. In the last big video I made, which spoke about the
That's a good point. Like, Akala is underage. He's a top player in Japan. Like, you know, there's no, like, horrible controversy around him or anything. Nobody is doing anything, like, weird. Like, there can be a safe space for, you know, people to play, right? And that's fine. The Super Smash Bros. Community is very different from other communities, right? But also at the same time, based on what's happened in the past as well, Sathan, I think it's dangerous for adults to interact with minors, period. But I know that that's kind of a different space and a different conversation, right?
allegations to my name, I mentioned that I was launching
He's still
a
banned from
lawsuit.
tournaments.
That lawsuit is now fully concluded. The details can be viewed in this document on screen right now, which you can pause the video and take a look at that.
So let's see. Our pleas do not say to settle all disputes between them. Parties call on their respective social media followers to cease harassing Mr. Barrows based on the events in the Sky House. And the parties' respective social media statements. Additionally, the parties request that any other publications and YouTube commentary content creators referencing the event respect the parties' wishes in this regards. After months of litigation, review of the evidence, and Mrs. Chloe's side of the story, Mr. Barrows now understands that Mrs. Chloe did not view her time at the Sky House or interactions that Mr. Barrows in the same way that Mr. Barrows experienced those events. Let me read this again for you really quickly. Chloe did not view her time at the Sky House or interactions with Mr. Barrows in the same way that Mr. Barrows experienced those events. That doesn't say that everything they said was false. It just means that the way they viewed it was not the way that he experienced it. That's like... that doesn't like... say anything is false or true, you know? It's just like, he now understands Mrs. Chloe felt harassed and demeaned and apologizes for his role in her experience. It just feels like a word throw up, you know? Mr. Barrows forgot to Mrs. Chloe's pain was exacerbated by public online discussion, though he does acknowledge that that was there, right? Chloe now understands the statements she previously made about Mr. Barrows' wife, Vanessa, were not accurate. Mrs. Chloe apologizes for making the statements, which are not based on events witnessed by Mrs. Chloe. So this is in regards specifically to Vanessa, which is Zero's wife. Rather than waste further time, legal fees, and emotional energy, Mr. Barrows and Mrs. Chloe have agreed to resolve this lawsuit, move forward with their respective goals, focus on positive content rather than any further negativity towards each other. So again, it doesn't even acknowledge that what was said was false or anything, right? It's just like they're just moving on. That's it. This literally did not disprove his whole like arguments that he's trying to make right here. Like, he still did it.
But to summarize, the
That's
document
crazy.
in which all of the allegations made to my name has now been fully deleted. However, this document has been deleted by
The allegations are deleted. That doesn't mean that they're not true. Because here, I want to show you something important here. That's part of this document, chat,
allegations.
that you're really
to my
going to
name.
want to see.
But to summarize,
Rather than waste further time, legal fees, and emotional energy, they've agreed to resolve this lawsuit. This is more than likely because one or both party did not have enough money to want to continue to do it. So rather than just be like, you know what, I want to go through this whole thing, cause a bunch more money, they're just like, let's just walk away from it. You can delete it, but that doesn't mean that it's not true, right?
the document in which all of the allegations made to my name.
Well,
has
what do
now
y'all
been
think, though?
fully
What do y'all
deleted.
think?
However, this document has been deleted by the person who made it, Jisoo, as part of this legal conclusion. So pretty much to put it bluntly, that movie with that individual is fully resolved at this point in time. We are not meant to address the topic further, and I
That's
kindly
true.
ask everyone watching.
Yeah, I mean, they did resolve it between themselves. You didn't resolve it between the public eye, right? You didn't resolve it between, or really, you didn't resolve any of the allegations. You just resolved your discourse with one person. That is actually the best way that I think that anybody could explain this. I literally just like, my two brain cells rubbed together and I created the best sentence ever, chat. I'm going to say it again. You just said that you resolved your discourse between one party, but you didn't prove that any of the allegations made against you were false.
To just not go and harass any party involved in this, especially her, because now this is just fully resolved. To follow up on the topic of allegations, I am aware that there are further allegations made to my name by an individual that goes of the name of Katie. To my knowledge, this individual, Katie, made their statement with the assistance of Jisoo and also included their statement in the bigger document that Jisoo created. To be fully transparent, I have been pursuing this individual for a while to be able to fully resolve the issue through the appropriate legal channels.
You're resolving it with those parties, but you're not resolving the allegations. Again, I like, it's very cleverly worded to kind of like make you feel like it's innocent, but just because you resolve it out of court doesn't mean anything, right, chat? Like, that can just feel like, we just decided to go our own separate ways, as said by that little document. It's very legalese, yeah.
However, we believe that this individual is intentionally avoiding any sort of contact with my legal team. Because of this, I am unable to fully resolve the issue properly through the legal channel. However, I do have additional evidence to defend myself with, but this evidence is being reserved for legal purposes should this issue come up again
It's never come up.
in a court of law.
It's never come up as far as I know. Feel free to correct me because, again, you know, I haven't touched this mentally for a long, long time, this whole situation, but I don't think that it's ever been brought up.
Actually, I don't want my life to be held up by allegations made by a completely anonymous individual. To further clarify, allegations that I fully deny, and their biggest allegation, which claims soliciting, there is no evidence for. Moving on from
Never
all of
came
this,
back
my
up.
plan is to continue moving forward making content. I would also be formally appealing my ban to Twitch. They actually indefinitely banned me from the events of 2020. They never really gave me a chance to defend myself, and I feel like I should not be banned anymore. It has
Bro, you 100% deserve to be banned. What are you talking about?
It has always been important for me to do well by my platform, and it's not right that people say I abused my platform
Yeah, more money than the other party, we wear him down. That is sometimes exactly what happens legally. Trust me. Sakari, that was, my outcome with YouTube. I haven't told you guys yet, but I did not win my YouTube case, chat. I'm gonna be demonetized for a while. We'll talk about that more in detail coming up, but I just found that out yesterday. But yeah, no, YouTube has way more money to me. I can't fight it, but that's literally what's happened.
During the era of these allegations. Just to clarify, the allegations are dated to 2014 when I was 19. Now today, I'm a few months away from being 28. Back then, I did not have a sizable platform. Finally, to get this off my chest,
Yes, I get that it was a, good while ago, but you still did it, and you still have to own to those actions, which you did at one point, and then you backtracked on it. And I really feel like he came up with all this stuff, he admitted to it, everything like that, and then he backtracked on it because he realized that he was not going to be able to continue living the lifestyle that he wanted, right? And I think eventually what happened was, now we're at the point where he realized that even with the damage done, he still would not be able to come back and live the lifestyle he wanted, so he moved on the way that he should have in the first place. Ultimately, that's what I think happened.
I think Leffen is still the biggest perpetrator in my entire situation. He lied in a story to make me look worse in a critical moment.
Yep.
A story in which I have witnesses
Yep,
in
I remember that,
person
Demon.
who were there to witness what actually happened.
Look, I want to say the whole Leffen thing. Personally, I don't trust Leffen at all. I don't trust anything he says. You could probably just toss out Leffen's whole thing and just exclude that from our conversation today.
Witnesses who have made statements to say that Leffen was lying. And these are not random players. These are well-established top players in Japan. He also made a video that got over 1 million views, tarnishing my name and profiting off of it as well. He also tried to make himself sound as one of my great friends just to validate his claims further. And despite being somebody that at every single turn in this entire situation kept trying to
exactly like why are we talking about Leffen defaming you if you've already gone to court multiple times? Take him to court then, because it does not take away from what you did,
trying
dude.
To make sure I was well below multiple feet underground.
What about this random thing?
Had the audacity to act as if he cared. Bro. When I made an attempt to take my life and I was in the hospital, he has the audacity to go on Twitter and make a comment and pretend he cared, when he himself is one of the largest drivers to that scenario, getting as much bad attention and as big of a hate mob possible. And that is what all the tweets, all the videos, all the streams he made covering my situation. To this day, all he's done is ignore the situation. He's never offered any type of remorse or any type of apology whatsoever. And he
that's Leffen.
Even went as far as signing over his false story as evidence against my legal matters. If that's not something, then I don't know what it is.
If it's true, that's his prerogative, right?
To this day, Zero has not been able to appeal his Twitch ban, but he continues to upload on YouTube and currently has 825,000 subscribers. Zero continues to try to revive his online presence and pulls a good amount of views. It ruffled a lot of people's feathers when Zero recently held a YouTube Smash tournament and only invited Smash players who are currently banned on Twitch. So it was pretty
yeah, that was wild. He invited all the band players, and I think there was Sora and a bunch of just horrible people that was bro, what are you doing?
The channel has been getting more views. I feel like the community support from you guys has been completely outstanding, and I'm very, very thankful for that. But I am definitely noticing that the better I feel like I am doing, the more the opposition against me grows. From talking to a lot of people, there's actually a lot of people that are very interested in playing in my tournaments. There are current top players, some of the best players in the world actually, that would love to play in my tournaments because they have no problems with me personally. They don't even think what happened is that big of a deal from words that they have used with me. But the reality is that they're scared that if they play, they're going to get banned from tournaments. The thing that really gets me though is that I'm starting to see people on
that's fair though, right? You have to, for me, right, I have to be careful who I associate with. So that's fair, right? That what if I win a collab with Marina? You know what I mean? You can't just collab with whoever you want or do whatever you want. There's consequences for all of your actions,
Twitter, I'll write lie. For example, there was this one guy that made a thread where he basically implies that I'm going to be hosting my tournaments as an excuse to just host all the banned players and purposely try to maliciously host tournaments that only have criminals or something like that, when I literally say within the first minute of my original video, that's not the point. And I even said that on multiple comments. I've been very clear about that. I don't mind if people don't like me. I'm past the point where I'm past the point where I believe that everyone should just be a fan of me and just like me because I'm a great person. I'm a decent person at best. Everyone has their flaws. I am no different. But if you're gonna dislike me, at least dislike me for things that make sense, or at least for the truth, right? Don't make up things. Don't make up things and lies to make other people dislike me or be able to run a headline on an article of something.
Here's my favorite part, chat. Nobody's making up a lie. All we're doing is listening to what you admitted to and what you said. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're listening to what you admitted to. But dude, you can't backtrack on it. You already said it. You already admitted it. You tried to save your career. It didn't work out. And you moved on.
Then that doesn't happen.
Like you should have in the first place.
Zero, the banned player criminal, is hosting tournaments for criminals, and it just makes everybody look terrible. That's not what's actually happening, right? That's just false. And the reason I want to make these videos
I will say people like over exaggerate stuff, you know, when it comes to things like that.
Here's because I want these things to be known, and I want you guys to know that even though all of this is going on, I am not going to stop. I am going to continue pushing forward, and I'm going to continue doing this. I'm going to make it the best it can be.
But this has been the curious case of Zero. Have you ever heard about this insane situation?
Absolutely insane situation. So here's what I want to show all of you really quickly, chat. If you go to their YouTube, so it's
It
under
has
Zero
finally-
Wondering, he's never really quite bounced back, right? But he did, he uploaded it, you know, a year ago. He took like kind of had some random ones coming here. And then he did have this one where he uploaded about a month ago. He's definitely not active like he used to be. And to be honest, I don't know if this is an appeal where he put through the appeal a long time ago and Twitch just now restored him, right? I don't know. But the point I want to bring up is that in no world, at least for me looking at all the proof that we looked at today, chat, I don't feel like that Twitch in any world should unban him. That's it. I think that at best this person is horribly questionable. And looking at the evidence of what he already admitted and stuff, he's done some horrible things and does not need to be in a space where minors can interact with him. Period. You know, like, I feel like I'm the crazy one having to say something that is just so logical. But here we are, chat. Here we are. So ultimately, let me ask all of you here today, what do you think about this situation? Do you think that Twitch should have unbanned him? Do you think that he deserved to be unbanned? Because again, if he got unbanned, it was either somebody went through and looked at this case and admitted that he deserved to have a platform, or an automated system brought him back and Twitch is responsible for that automation. You know what I mean? But let me know what you think about Zero in the comments below, guys. You know, I know this is a very big case. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of back and forth, a lot of details. So if I forgot something, please, I apologize. You know, this case it's pretty old. A lot of the proof is you just can't get a hold of anymore. Trust me, I went to look for it. So please, if there's anything I missed,
would be crazy
let me know.
to build a boat out of glass.
Nobody be crazy. And yet here we are.